We all want to welcome you back today. We hope that you've gotten enough rest from your few days off after final exams and that you're ready for the start of the second semester. There are a few topics that we need to look over. There isn't anything new being added. We just need to review a few topics so that we can get through the second semester even more smoothly than we did the first. Some topics we need to discuss are attendance and tardies, arrival and departure, student parking, promotion requirements, schedule changes, discipline, and important dates. First, let's look at attendance. Attendance accounted for 134 courses being failed this semester. Although that is a lot, I would also like to point out that in most of those cases, the course had a failing grade anyway. It stands to reason that when a student misses that many days of class, they're missing important pieces of their education, which affects their grades. All students need to be in class each day that they can. Students that have over 5 unexcused absences can expect a negative result with their grades. The rule that we follow is simply put as, if you have between 6 and 10 unexcused absences, your grade will be reduced to a 60 as long as you already have at least a 60 average. If you have over 10 unexcused absences, your grade will be reduced to a 59. Again, that is, as long as you have already at least a 60 average. As long as you have no more than 5 unexcused absences, you'll receive the grade that you actually earned in that class. And there are students here today that earned grades in the high 90s and had to settle with 60s because of attendance. The trick to attendance is making sure that when you do miss a school day, that you get it excused. To get it excused, you must bring a note as soon as you get back to school. Remember that we do accept handwritten notes, but they must be turned in within 3 days of your return to school, and we can only accept no more than 3 per semester. When you miss a day of school, bring your note to the front office before first period. Miss Yuvia will give you what we refer to as a receipt for your note. This way you have proof that you turned in a note. This receipt also shows your teachers that your absence was excused, which allows you to make up any missed assignments, quizzes, or tests. Without the absence being excused, you will receive a 0 on any assignment that was done the day you were out. This includes any graded assignments such as tests and quizzes. Tardies are pretty much self-explanatory. Your first and second tardies in each class will result in a teacher warning. Third and fourth tardies, after school detention. Fifth and sixth tardies, in school suspension. 7 or more tardies, out of school suspension. And also, if you get 7 or more tardies, you do run the risk of losing your parking privileges. As far as arrival and departure, please make sure that if you're a car rider that you're being dropped off between the front steps and the walkway in front of the cafeteria. Students do not need to be dropped off in the student parking lot, near the pine trees in front of the Fine Arts Building, or before passing the front steps. When being picked up in the afternoon, please wait for your ride in front of the cafeteria. As far as parking on campus, students must have an East Duplin parking tag displayed in the bottom right side of the windshield in order to use our parking lots during school hours. Tags can be purchased from our bookkeeper during Lunch and Learn, and since it's now the second semester, tags can be purchased for only $20. Students without a tag or who continually ignore parking lot rules run the risk of having their vehicle towed. Remember, in order to be promoted each year, students must have passed their English class, and in the case of 9th graders, they also must pass Math 1. To be promoted to the 10th grade, students must have a total of 6 credits, including the English 1 and Math 1 requirements. To be promoted to the 11th grade, students must have at least 13 credits, including the English requirement. To be promoted to the 12th grade, students must have at least 20 credits, including the English credit. And to be eligible for graduation, students must have at least 28 credits, their English requirements, and their senior project successfully completed. Very important note, without the senior project being successfully completed, students will not graduate, period. Another side note, don't forget that our grading scale has changed this year to the 10-point scale. The biggest thing about schedule changes is that unless it is absolutely necessary, it probably will not change. There are many things going on at this time of the year. We're trying to finalize all of last semester's grades, print report cards, make necessary adjustments due to failures, enroll new students, and try to keep our class sizes as balanced as possible. There simply isn't enough time to do all of this and to make schedule changes based on your current way of thinking. The classes that you enrolled in are classes that you either signed up for yourself or put into because of overcrowding in the classes you wanted to be in. Either way, there's little that can be done at this time. Remember that all schedule changes must have my approval. "99.5% of you are going to do exactly what is asked of you day in and day out. But many of you can get caught up in the moment and become insubordinate or disrespectful. Understand that both of these behaviors can get you suspended. As long as any adult at this school asks you to do something reasonable, it is expected that you comply immediately. If you feel that you're being mistreated, let your parents know, but not in the middle of class. You do not have to always like what is being asked of you, but as long as it is a reasonable request, you'll be expected to comply immediately. If you don't like what is being asked of you, do not walk out of class. Do not pull out your cell phone to call your parents in class, and do not talk back to the teacher telling them what you will and will not do. Do what is asked and let your parents handle the situation afterwards. I guarantee you there's not one adult on our campus that will ask anything unreasonable of you or put you in any situation where you're going to be in any danger. Some important dates to remember from the rest of the year. Report cards go home on January 25th, that's next week, again on April the 11th, and one more time over the summer. Progress reports will go home February 12th, March 4th, April 22nd, and May 13th. The ACT for all juniors will be held on March 1st. Prom will be May 21st. Exams for the end of the year will be on June 3rd through June 9th. And of course, graduation for our seniors will be on June 13th. All of these dates can be found in our handbook on page 3. One more thought. As high school students, much responsibility is placed on your shoulders. You're responsible for getting to school on time, for knowing right from wrong and doing what's right, for keeping up with your grades and attendance, for self-discipline, and for acting like the young adult that you are. As in most all things, you can expect to get out of it exactly what you put into it. Your success or failure will be determined by your overall attitude towards your education. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and productive second semester.